There are many countries in the world, 196 to be exact. Sometimes, when you think of one, you conjure up a stereotype that you are unsure of the origin of. Maybe you have seen it on TV or heard it from friends. Some stereotypes come about as they are actually true, but not all of them. Here are 10 national stereotypes that simply aren't true. 10. British people have bad teeth. It is unknown where this myth springs from, but it is certainly a popular one. Many people around the world, especially Americans, seem to think that everyone in the UK has bad teeth. Now, I live here and I can vouch that not everybody in the British Isles has teeth like a bag of chips, or fries for our American friends. Popular culture does little to dispel this myth either, with characters like Austin Powers making sure to poke fun at the British gnashes. According to a report from 2009, British people actually have some of the healthiest teeth in the world. I myself have summer teeth. Some are pointing this way, some are pointing that way. 9. Every American owns a gun. Maybe this myth stems from the Wild West, or the fact that we watch so many films with shooting in them. The simple fact is that many Americans are against gun ownership. In America, there does exist the right to bear arms, but that doesn't mean that it is compulsory. The USA does rank highest in the list for gun ownership per capita, at 90 guns owned per 100 people, but this figure could be skewed by some people owning numerous firearms. 8. Russians are all vodka drinking nutcases. We've all seen the films where the fearless Russian guy seems to have a bottle of vodka glued to his hand and he's the first to get involved in trouble. Thing is, whilst there may be many people in Russia like this doesn't personify the typical Ruski. The WHO lists Russia as 4th highest alcohol consuming country in the world. What may not be a surprise is that the 3 countries that rank higher than Russia are all Eastern European countries. This doesn't, however, mean that all Russians drink or that they are fearless risk takers. There are many people in Russia, just like you and me, normal. Well, like you anyway. 7. The Spanish all adore bullfighting. When you think of Spanish traditions, you probably picture bullfighting. The truth is that many Spaniards are against this tradition as they think it is barbaric. However, they do not want it banned. A part of Spain called Catalonia recently put forward a motion for bullfighting to be banned across all of Spain. This was rejected by the rest of Spain. The spectacle usually takes place in rural areas and not in urban areas or cities. The majority of Spaniards can cite no other reason for it to continue other than tradition. 6. French people are cowards. It is said that this myth dates back to the Second World War and came about as France fell to the German invading forces very quickly. However, it was not the French military's fear of fighting, but bad leadership on the part of their politicians. During the Second World War, the French resistance did their country proud, and many lives were bravely sacrificed. Throughout history, France has won many wars and invented many strategies used by other armies. Some historians state that France has been the most successful nation in war that ever existed. 5. The Irish are always drunk. We've probably all heard of this misconception. The truth is that whilst the Irish don't really drink more than any other nations, it's the way in which they go about it that may have bred this stereotype. In France, for instance, people could drink alcohol on a daily basis. A glass of wine with lunch, another glass with dinner. The Irish, however, do not drink every day, but then save up all of their drinking for the weekend and have a mad binge. This behaviour could lead people to think that they are a nation of raving alcoholics, but that simply isn't true. In a 2013 poll, it was found that Germany puts away more alcohol per person than Ireland. You don't see people calling the Germans drunks. 4. Greeks are lazy. A recent study showed that the Greeks work more hours on average than any other European country. Quite where this stereotype comes from is unknown. It may be that the average earnings are low and that they recently needed a bailout. This wouldn't have been down to the people though, but down to the politicians who led the country. Germans are often thought of as hard-working, but on average, the Greeks work 600 hours per year more than the Germans. Hardly lazy. 3. The Dutch all smoke weed. Many people think that weed is legal in the Netherlands. That, however, is untrue. It is only decriminalised. It is legal to smoke and to carry up to 5 grams, and selling it is also condoned. You may have heard that you can buy weed to smoke in the coffee shops in Amsterdam. This is true, but soon this will only be available to the natives. Foreigners may be prohibited from purchasing cannabis, and passports will have to be shown at the point of sale. This will harm the tourist industry massively. All of this doesn't equate to every Dutch person passing the bong. There are many groups in the Netherlands who campaign for weed to be outlawed, citing various antisocial and criminal behaviour as a result of weed being so available. Just because you can do something in the country doesn't mean that everybody does. 2. Scottish people are tight with money. This is a myth probably spread by the English. It is said that the Scottish only have double glazed windows to stop the children hearing the ice cream man coming. A recent study has found this to be anything but the case. A survey done by a taxi firm found that people in Glasgow and Edinburgh were twice as likely to tip their driver than the average Englishman. As a matter of interest, the people found to tip the least in the British Isles were the Welsh. 1. Japanese men have small penises. Unsure where this one originates, but I'm sure we've all seen it on TV and in films. Japanese men are slightly smaller height-wise than your average European or American, and it just seems that their parts are in proportion. It seems that the Japanese penis is only slightly smaller than the typical American penis, at 5.3 inches compared to 5.5. Obviously, there will be people with extra large ones who skew the data. For this, I can only apologise. That brings this episode of Curious Tenants to a close. Please feel free to leave your comments and make sure to subscribe for more videos.